I flipped these 5 books on Amazon FBA for a $383 profit. And the crazy thing is I actually bought 4 of these directly from Amazon. I did this all using a Chrome extension called Keepa, which you can go over to the Chrome Web Store, type in Keepa, and download it on Chrome. And in this video, I'll explain how I found each of these books, how much I paid for them, what they sold for, and also the profit breakdown. And just a quick side note, it's really hot here, so if I look sweaty, I'm sorry in advance. All right, the first book that I found was a psychology book. I purchased this for $24, sold it for $160, and made a profit of $103.32. And the sourcing method was the Keepa track product feature. So I'm going to head over to the Amazon listing here. And if we take a look at the Keepa graph, you can see that it's kind of all over the board. These green lines, is sales rank, indicates when the book sells. And this black line represents the used price over time. So one thing you can see right off the bat is that used price is up and down a lot. Like, it's been really high, it's also been really low. But what we want to do is overlap the sales rank and the used price, because if we can overlap the sales rank and the used price, then we actually know what the book sold for. Now, because this book sees this sort of textbook season where the used price can go up and down quite wildly, I decided to track it in the off season so that maybe I could buy 1 or 2 copies and sell it when it was textbook season. So I went ahead and set a tracker on June 21st. So you can see if I update my tracking, I was tracking for $23. What that means is whenever the price of this book on Amazon drops to $23 or lower, then send me an email notification and a Telegram message so that I can be notified. And so that actually did happen right here on this day. So this would have been, looks like July 6th. The price went from $24 down to $20.99. That triggered the track product feature to send me a notification. And then what I did was look at all the listings on Amazon. And I actually didn't buy the book from Amazon because I used another website called Bookfinder. I typed in the ISBN and was able to look at all the used prices for that book. And what Bookfinder does is kind of rank it based upon the cheapest to the most expensive. And at that time, Biblio, I believe, was a little bit cheaper because I actually did end up buying this book on Biblio for $24.13. And probably the reason why I bought it on Biblio is because I am a Bibliophile member holder, which means I get 10% off every order. And so I got a discount of $2.68 on that book and was able to buy it for $24. But the reason why I bought this for $24 again is because this book has a history of selling during the textbook season for well over $100. Like, if I zoom in to this previous February, you can see that the sales rank, the green line, in the black line, the lowest used price, they overlap, and where they overlap, those are actually sales. So this book was selling for at least $195 4 times there, or 3 times there, and was selling for, at least $50 there, over $100 there. And this pattern has existed for a long time with this book. So if we go back to the previous September, there's definitely 3 or 4 sales here in the over $100 range. And if I go back further out, you can see that this textbook season of the price going down to like this $30 or $40 and then right back up to $100, like, that's a pretty consistent pattern. So I was able to actually sell this book for $160, which is right in line with kind of what the data was showing me. Ended up, after Amazon fees, so we have an Amazon pick and pack fee, we have the referral fee, and we have the variable closing fee, was able to get to net $127.45. And all I have to do to get my profit is just then subtract that from what I paid for the book, which, if you remember, was $24. And so after doing that, you can see that we have a profit of $100 on that one book. Now, one thing that you should consider when you're doing this, when you're trying to buy books in the off season and flip them during textbook season, is to not buy too many of them, because although there is previous data to show that this has happened consistently over and over again, it's definitely not guaranteed. So I would say try to limit the number of books you buy to maybe like 3 or so, just to limit your risk. One other thing I can say about this is that if you look at the black used offer count, you see that it ebbs and flows, it goes up and down. And that's basically going to mimic the sales rank, where when there's a lot of used offers, that's basically the off season. Like, for example, this whole time here was the off season where the number of used offers went up, 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 and up. And then as soon as textbook season comes back around and students need this book, you can see that the sales rank drops. It goes really low. Now the number of used offers goes low as well, because people are buying the book, and then the used price jumps up as a result. And this book is still selling, right? It just sold here for $199, at least $199. So there are people making some pretty good money on this. Now, one thing about tracking products is, remember, other people track products too. So if you go down to the community tracking, you can see how many individuals are tracking this. Right now, 20 people are tracking this book, and the average price is $15.58. All right, the next book that I bought was Constitutional Law. I purchased this for only $7.82. I actually picked up a couple copies, sold this one for $94. I sold the other one also for like $93 or $94 as well. Paid Amazon $22 in fees and made a profit of $64. And the sourcing method, again, was Keepa, but this time it was the Keepa deals page. So let's go and head on over to the Constitutional Law main listing page on Amazon. I did buy this 2 times on May 7th. And if we zoom into May 7th, that would have been this time here where the price was about $3.83 plus shipping. So that gets to that $7 that I purchased the book for. Now, I found this using the Keepa deals page. So what exactly is that? Well, if you go over here to the Keepa chart and you go to find related deals, you can open a link in a new tab there. I use these parameters on the left-hand side of the deals page. I'm basically looking for books that are seeing pretty significant drops percentage-wise in dollar amount, and also looking for books that are at the lowest price ever. And if I search for books specifically, because you can do this for basically any category, but if I do this for books specifically, you can go through books that have seen some pretty significant drops in price over time. And while not all of them are going to lead to books you want to buy, some of them will. And so just before filming this video, preparing, I found this book called The Retinal Atlas. And this would be a great example of a book that I would probably buy, would consider buying. So the way that the deals page works is it's trying to track large decreases in percentage price over time, or a large dollar price drop in a short period of time. And you can see that this book over the last year, if we look at the black use line, has been selling for, well over $200 pretty consistently. And even into the past like 2,300 days, like it's consistently selling for over $200. And again, the way that I know that is that if we overlap that green sales rank with the black lowest used price line, we can see that all of, sales rank is dropping, the book is selling, and the used price is at least $200. But what has recently happened is that this book has experienced probably a repricing war between two sellers that are trying to sell their copies out, and the reprices are just basically inching the price of the book lower and lower over time. And the price of this book has got to about $69, which is considerably underpriced or undervalued from what it should be. So if I go ahead and click on this Amazon link here, I can actually pull up on the side all of the used offers here. And if I go and filter out the rentals, right, I don't want to see rentals. Let me go and filter out for the used prices. You can see that there's, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, about 5 people selling this book, pretty undervalued, like anywhere from 69 to 90. And then it shoots right back up to 157, 200, and it keeps going on after that. So the question is, if you were to buy one of these books, could you make money? I would argue that you probably could, because this book has a pretty good sales rank. It's selling pretty frequently, and there isn't that many sellers bringing the price down. In other words, there's only like a handful of sellers bringing down the price momentarily. I do believe that once those 4 or 5 sellers sell out, or once people buy that book, then the price would shoot right back up. And so in this case, we have 6 people tracking the book. But yeah, this is a book that I would consider buying 1 or 2 copies, because I'm pretty confident that you could probably sell this book for at least $200, right? Amazon's new price is about $280 right now, but it's been as high as $349. And even the third-party new sellers are about $260. So you could probably sell this book for well over $200. Right now, the buy box for the Prime seller is $90, but again, they don't have it. I think they only have 1 copy. So if we go back here, we have 1 copy from Rent You, and then we have a total of 3 copies from eCampus. So basically, those 4 Prime sellers, and then you could probably easily go back up to $200. Okay, the whole point of that was just to show you how I found this book, Constitutional Law, and how I flipped it. So I purchased this on May 7th because I was using the deals page. I basically, on May 7th, saw this data here that said, hey, this book has sold at least 3 times for over $80. Now, all of a sudden, its price is down to $3.83. If we look back into its history, it has historically sold for over $90. Now, it's not like it's selling every month or every day, but it has history of selling. So I said, hey, at $3 plus shipping, that's a risk I'm willing to take. I went ahead and ended up buying that book, and then I ended up selling it here for a total of $94.50. The pick and pack fee from Amazon, $6.08. The referral fee was $14. The variable closing fee, $1.80. And basically, Amazon credited my account with $72.44. And if we subtract that from the purchase price of $7.82, we're left with a $64 profit. All right, the third book that we purchased for $129 profit was Attention and Motor Skill Learning. I bought this for $39.45 on Amazon, flipped it right back on Amazon for $205, paid Amazon $36, and made a profit of $129. The sourcing method was the Keepa deals page. That's how I initially found the book. I then started tracking the book and was able to buy a copy once I hit the trigger, or my track product feature triggered. The book dropped to the price that I was looking for, and I went ahead and ended up buying the book. So I did buy this on July 16th. And if we zoom into July 16th, that would have been at the point in time here where the black used line, the lowest used price, actually went below the dash line. The dash line represents what I'm tracking the book for. So if I go to track product and update track, actually I changed the product tracking to $25 just recently, but this was set at $36, and the lowest used price went just underneath that here on July 16th. It went down to $35.46, and then went all the way down to $30.41. So I ended up buying that book for a total of $39.45. And the reason why I bought this book was because, again, if you look back at the history for, there's historical data to show that it sold there for $238. It sold here probably at that new price for $155. Then it sold a few times over here for $150. So not selling a lot, but if you go back a little bit further into its history, right, it was selling for over $60, sold for over $90, over $145. There isn't a new edition out, so if there's not a new edition out, then it's not like I'm really risking, buying a book that's not going to be used any longer, or at least the likelihood of that is lower. So as I mentioned, I ended up finding this book from the deals page, and I found it on this day here. That's when I started tracking it. That's when the price is around $70. But for me, that was not low enough for me to feel like there's not enough risk to buy it. So I decided to set the tracker a little bit lower at 36. It got triggered and ended up buying this book there July 16th. Now you can see since then, the price of the book has gone pretty far up. Like, this is textbook season right here, number of sales there. The price went all the way back up to 118. The price went up to, 135, 179, sold a couple times there. And then I was able to sell my book for a total of $205. So here's the breakdown of that book. Sold for $204.99 after all the fees, $168.67. And if you subtract what I paid for it, you have a profit of $129. All right, the fourth book that we bought was the Sage Handbook of Qualitative Data Analysis, purchased on Amazon for $50, sold for $130, paid Amazon $27.38, made a profit of $52. And I sourced this using the Keepa track product feature. Once again, let's head on over to the Amazon listing. I purchased this on May 14th. If we zoom into May 14th, something very interesting again, you can see that the black use line dropped below the dash line. And remember, that dash line is what I'm tracking the product for, which is $50. So on that date, if I zoom in here, this black lowest use line actually dropped below 50 down to $45.99. I was sent an email notification and a text message, and I basically looked at the listing and said, can I make money off this book? And so at that point in time, this is the data I'm looking at. I'm saying, okay, well, the price of this book, and no, there's actually historical data of this book selling for over $140. Granted, recently it's been selling for over $80 or over $85. If you look further back into its history, like the value of this book is pretty healthy, like it's selling well over $100. So I felt like they're at that, $50 that's a price that I could probably sell this pretty easily for, at least $115, $120 and make some money on it. Turns out that I was able to sell this a little bit later on, right over here. Sold this on 8/31, so August 31st, for a total of $130. And after all the Amazon fees, Amazon gave me a check for $102.62. If you subtract what I paid for the book, which was $50, it leaves me with a $52 profit. So this is like 100% ROI. It's not a home run by any means, but $50 is $50. Like, that's pretty good. All right, the fifth and final book of the day is a pharmacology book that I purchased for $21.38. It sold for $72, paid Amazon $18, and I profited $32.73. And the sourcing method here was actually not the track product feature. It was actually the deals page once again. So bought this on May 19th. If I look at the Keepa chart, May 19th would have been this point in time right here. And again, the way that I found this was using the deals page. So you can click on the find related deals and you can search through the books just like I showed you at the beginning of the video today. But basically, this book had seen a decrease in value because if you look back into its last 3-month history, it sold like maybe 6 or 7 times for over $85. And then all of a sudden, its price dropped down to $23 and again dropped down here to about $12 or $13. So the percentage drop was pretty significant over a short period of time. So that's why I found it using that deals page. And I was confident in the history looking back in this book that, hey, like this book sells for over $60. If you look back in 2021, it was selling for over $190, sold for $265, $189. Like this book, while it doesn't sell a ton, it definitely sells sometimes, and it sells for a lot of money. Now, the other thing about this was, even though the used price was going down quite significantly, the number of used offers, this black line down here, didn't go up. It actually went down, which is a good sign. A lot of the times you'll see that the used price goes down when the number of used offers goes up. And that could be a bad sign because let's say used sellers come on the listing, then obviously the price is going to come down just because there's more supply. But if there's ever the scenario where the price is going down and the number of used offers is also going down, it's probably because there's a repricing war. And that repricing war definitely happened right around here. But in any case, I was able to buy this book for a total of $21. I went ahead and sold it at 71 bucks. And honestly, like based upon past history, like that's actually a really good deal for this book because, this book had sold for at least $73. It sold up here for $85 in the past. But again, I mentioned looking back into its history, it sold for over $150 like a number of times. So I probably could have held on to this book a little bit longer, but at the same time, I'm happy just, flipping the book, making some money. I'm making over 100% ROI. I can take that and buy some other books using the same exact strategy. All right, everybody, that's the end of the video. If you enjoyed it, leave a like, consider subscribing. And by the way, I'm getting close to reaching 100 subscribers. So I'm curious, what ideas do you have out there for a 100 subscriber giveaway? I was thinking maybe like giving away a $50 plus profit book, or maybe a $75 profit book. I don't know. But I was thinking of giving away something. If you have any ideas of what you'd want for the 100 subscriber special, then let me know. But it's coming up soon and we're going to hit it. So have a great day and goodbye.